alone for Passover. It's around 2010 in Park Slope, Brooklyn. I'm in between girlfriends and lonely. I'm alone for Passover, my favorite holiday. It's a holiday Jews usually celebrate in private homes and synagogues, surrounded by families and friends and community. Although I wasn't raised in a religious household, Passover, the Hebrew's Exodus, has always been especially meaningful to me, both personally and politically, as an inspiration towards transformation and liberation. I've always celebrated with a group of people. I've organized my own Seders, pieced together a Haggadah, the prayer book, the order of the Seder, from all the Seders I've attended throughout my whole life. I'm used to celebrating with a group, friends, lovers, but for some reason it's just not happening, and I'm totally by myself, all alone. At first I'm like, I'm just gonna forget about it. What's the point? There's so much work involved. Then, the day before Passover night, I suddenly realized how very important Passover is to me. It's an overwhelming desire. I just feel like I have to make Passover happen. I make a list, and I rush out, and I buy the wine for the ritual itself to add to the haroset, the chopped apples, nuts, cinnamon, and honey mixture that represents the mortar the Hebrews used to secure the bricks to build for Pharaoh during the long years of slavery. I get the parsley and the vegetables, the bitter herbs, symbolizing suffering. I can't find a shank bone representing the sacrifice that will save the firstborn children, so I buy a beet instead. I bring it all home to my Brooklyn kitchen. I set a beautiful table with my fancy schmancy dishes and gold-edged wine goblet that I inherited from my mother when she passed away. I pull out my feminist Haggadah, stuffed with all my additions, and I give myself permission to celebrate my own Passover in my own way. I stand at the head of the table. I light sage and I cleanse my body. Slowly, I begin to breathe in deeply using the three-part breath. Belly, chest, upper chest, belly, chest, upper chest. And as I breathe out a long sigh, then I start to moan, and I let the moans turn into a chant, and I begin to open my body into the melancholy klezmer music I have playing in the background, breathing and chanting myself into a sacred, healing, meditative space. I begin my own service reading the words aloud to myself, paying attention, listening carefully to my own voice. I hold up each symbol, the matzah, the symbol of affliction, but also it's the symbol of what keeps us alive in the wilderness. I'm feeling, imagining myself inside each symbol. I read my additions to the Haggadah, poems, birth is a beginning and death a destiny, and a passage from August Wilson's Joe Turner's Come and Gone. I fought against it, didn't want to accept that song. I tried to find my daddy to give him back the song, but I found out it wasn't his song. It was my song. It had come from deep inside me. I find the places way deep inside myself to connect. I dip the bitter herbs into the salt water, representing the tears and suffering my ancestors incurred as they were slaves. And I remind myself of all those currently enslaved, in exile, refugees. I remind myself that no one is free until we all are free. I imagine myself going out of Mitzrayim, the narrow place represented by Egypt, but also in a larger spiritual sense. Mitzrayim represents everything that holds us back from becoming all that we can be. Any narrowness represented by Pharaoh, oppressive government forces, or anything narrow in myself that limits the full expression of my being. I chant and I pray and I drink the wine. I'm totally focused, totally there, taking the time I need with each word. I ask myself the core 4 questions. Why is this night different from other nights? I answer myself aloud so I can bear witness to my own inner wisdom. I listen to each prayer, stay in each moment, in a way that I've wished for years that I could do in others' Seders. I experience myself personally coming out of Egypt, as we are commanded to remember, as if my body, my soul, my mind, everything was there in that fearful journey. I'm with them in a group, and we're moving as fast as we can, carrying our most prized possessions on our heads and our backs, in cloth satchels and gourds, carrying our sick and dying. We've walked and walked and walked, and suddenly I hear galloping hooves and screeching wheels, whips snapping. There are muscled, armored men, sand flying all around us, Pharaoh's chariots and fire-breathing horses chasing me, all of us, all terrified. I hear the children and the women screaming. Suddenly, the vast red sea, the waves rushing towards us, blocking any escape. There is no place to go. The armed men behind, an onslaught of flashing knives and angry eyes, of bloodthirsty murder for everyone in my tribe. I hear a voice calling out, singing, howling, ululating, and others around me join in. And then all of us burst forth a sound, a song of desire for life, called out to heaven. We pound our frame drums, and their little high-pitched bells sing out with us. We dance to our own pleading. All around me, women playing their tambourines and dancing into the water, and I leap into the water with the others. There is a deafening roar as the water flings itself up into the sky. I can't see how high. I can't look back. I won't look back.